Ever heard that good things happen to good people? Sounds nice, right? Like something out of a fairy tale. But then you look at the real world, the news, the power structures, the people who seem to win. And it often feels like the opposite is true. Like the ruthless, the self-serving, the morally flexible are the ones on top. And good people? Well, they often seem to finish last. Have you ever felt that nagging sense of injustice? Like being good is actually a disadvantage. Why is that? We're not saying bad things only happen to good people, or that good people never succeed. Life's complicated, as philosophers from Heraclitus to Nietzsche have pointed out. It's always in flux, but there's this persistent feeling, this observation, that those who prioritize ethics, compassion, and integrity often face unique obstacles in the pursuit of what society calls winning. It's a paradox, isn't it? The qualities we're taught to admire, kindness, honesty, empathy, can seem like liabilities in a world that rewards the opposite. Is this just cynicism, echoing thinkers like Schopenhauer? Or is there a deeper truth, maybe closer to the ethical inquiries of Socrates himself? What if our understanding of winning itself is flawed? What if the game we're told to play, the metrics we're told to value, are rigged in a way that disadvantages good people? Is it possible that good people never win, not because goodness is weak, but because the definition of winning is skewed, narrow, and, well, destructive? Thinkers like the cynics would have had a field day with this. That's the big question we're exploring today. And I want to hear from you right now. In the comments below, tell me, what does winning mean to you? Do you think good people are at a disadvantage? First, what do we even mean by good people? We're talking about individuals who prioritize ethical behavior, value integrity and honesty, strive to be compassionate, and consider the impact of their actions on others. Think Confucius or Buddha, people with a strong moral compass. They value principles over expediency, and they try to contribute positively to the world. That's our working definition of good people for this exploration. Now, the tricky part, what does it mean to win? In our society, winning is often defined in materialistic terms: accumulating wealth, achieving power, gaining status, outcompeting others. It's a dominant narrative, reinforced by media and societal expectations. But this definition is inherently competitive, often zero-sum, and frequently detached from ethics. It prioritizes individual gain over collective well-being, echoing the egoistic philosophies critiqued by thinkers like Immanuel Kant. It often rewards ruthless ambition over compassion. It's this narrow definition of winning that we need to question. But is this materialistic definition the only way to define winning? Are we trapped in a limited understanding of success? Thinkers like Plato warned against societies obsessed with material gain. Is life really a zero-sum game? A constant struggle where one person's gain is another's loss? Imagine different kinds of games. Some, like chess, are purely competitive. But others, like building a community garden, are collaborative, where winning means shared benefit. Life is complex. It encompasses both competition and cooperation. Our definition of winning needs to reflect that. For good people, winning often takes on a radically different meaning. It's less about dominating others or accumulating possessions, and more about living in alignment with their values, making a positive impact building meaningful relationships, experiencing inner peace, and contributing to the greater good. Winning might mean creating a more just society, fostering compassion, solving problems collaboratively, and leaving the world a little better than they found it. It's about ethical conduct and a deeper sense of purpose. Reflect for a moment. Which definition of winning resonates more deeply with you? The narrow, materialistic one, or the broader, value-based one? Understanding these different definitions of winning is crucial. It leads us to our second point, the rules of the game. The feeling that good people never win often stems from a perception that the rules of the game, as structured in many societal systems, aren't designed to reward goodness or ethical conduct. In fact, they often seem to incentivize the opposite. Let's examine how these unwritten rules can disadvantage those who prioritize ethical behavior. In many competitive systems, business, politics, even social circles, the unspoken rules often prioritize self-interest, competition, and the pursuit of power above all else. It can feel like the game is rigged, favoring those willing to bend ethical rules, cut corners, prioritize personal gain over ethical considerations, and engage in manipulation. Think of a game where cheating, while officially frowned upon, is often tolerated, even rewarded as savvy. In such a system, those who play fairly and ethically are at a disadvantage. Consider the corporate world. While ethical businesses exist, there are also examples of corporations prioritizing profit over everything else, exploiting workers, harming the environment, deceiving consumers, or lobbying for self-serving policies. In these environments, individuals who prioritize ethical conduct may find themselves passed over for promotions, marginalized, or even penalized for their lack of ambition or moral rigidity. The unwritten rules often seem to incentivize ruthlessness and a disregard for ethics. Thinkers from Marx to Naomi Klein have critiqued these inherent contradictions. The political arena offers another example. While there are ethical politicians, the landscape is often characterized by partisan competition, strategic maneuvering, and a willingness to compromise principles for political gain. Campaigns can be negative and dishonest. Truth can be distorted, and alliances can shift based on tactical advantages. In this environment, politicians who prioritize honesty and integrity may find themselves outmaneuvered by those willing to play by the ethically questionable rules of political gamesmanship. Political philosophers from Plato to Hannah Arendt have long scrutinized these moral ambiguities. It's important to acknowledge this isn't a universal truth. Ethical leadership, responsible businesses, and virtuous politicians do exist. There are examples of individuals in power who are committed to doing good. However, the perception that the rules often favor less ethical behavior remains a valid and troubling concern. This perception can create discouragement and disillusionment for good people trying to navigate these systems while maintaining their values. It's like trying to win a race with one hand tied behind your back. This perception of a rigged game leads to our third point, the specific challenges faced by good people. Beyond the systemic issues, there are specific challenges good people encounter because of their ethical nature. These challenges can make it seem like goodness itself is a disadvantage in the pursuit of conventional winning. Let's explore these hurdles. One key challenge is trust and vulnerability. Good people tend to approach the world with an open heart, assuming the best intentions in others. This is admirable, but it can also make them vulnerable to manipulation and betrayal. It's like walking through a marketplace with your heart on your sleeve. You're open to connection, but also a target for those who might take advantage. Cynicism, while emotionally protective, closes doors to genuine connection. Openness to trust, despite its vulnerabilities, is essential for building meaningful relationships. It's a delicate balance. Another challenge is conflict avoidance. Good people often value harmony and empathy, and may be less inclined to engage in aggressive competition or confrontation. While conflict avoidance can be a strength, it can also be a disadvantage in competitive environments where assertiveness and self-advocacy are seen as necessary. Being agreeable and cooperative can sometimes be misinterpreted as weakness or lack of ambition. It's about finding the right balance between assertiveness and compassion. Perhaps the biggest challenge is the unwillingness to compromise ethics. Good people have a strong moral compass and are unwilling to bend their values, even for personal gain. In a world where cutting corners and engaging in ethically gray areas are sometimes seen as shortcuts to success, this commitment to integrity can create obstacles. It can make it seem like they're losing in the conventional game, even while they're winning in the ethical game. This echoes the deontological ethics of Immanuel Kant, doing what's right, regardless of the consequences. Good people often adopt a longer-term perspective. They prioritize sustainable solutions, long-lasting impact, and the well-being of future generations rather than short-term gains. This can be a disadvantage in systems that prioritize immediate results and short-sighted strategies. Investing in ethical practices, building trust, and fostering integrity often requires patience and a willingness to forego immediate rewards. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, this long-term approach can seem less successful. It's about planting seeds for a future you might not fully see. These challenges can contribute to the feeling that good people never win. But what if we're looking at winning the wrong way? This leads to our fourth point: radically redefining winning for good people. If the conventional definition of winning is rigged against ethical conduct, then the answer isn't to become less good, but to redefine what it means to win. Let's explore this empowering perspective. The first step is to shift our focus from external validation and materialistic achievements to internal fulfillment, value-based living, and inner peace. Instead of measuring success by wealth, power, or status, we can measure it by our inner peace, the strength of our integrity, the quality of our relationships, and our positive impact on the world. This is a transformative shift. It frees us from comparing ourselves to others and allows us to cultivate a sense of self-worth rooted in our values and actions. It's about building your inner kingdom, not chasing external empires. When we redefine winning, we adopt different metrics for success. Instead of asking, "How much wealth have I accumulated?" or "How much power do I have?" logically, we ask, "How much positive impact have I created?" The question is, "How many people have I helped?" Logically, "How authentically have I lived?" Logically, "How have I contributed to a better world?" These are the metrics of true winning for good people. They shift our focus from personal gain to collective well-being. Reflect. What are your metrics for a successful life? Are they aligned with your values? Redefining winning also means embracing a longer-term perspective. It's about creating a positive legacy that extends beyond our own lifetimes, focusing on the well-being of future generations. It's about planting seeds of positive change, even if we don't personally live to see the full harvest. True winning is about contributing to something larger than ourselves, participating in the ethical evolution of humanity. It's about leaving the world a little better than we found it. Ultimately, redefining winning means embracing value-based living. It's about aligning our actions with our ethical principles: honesty, compassion, integrity, justice, and striving to live a life that is authentic, meaningful, and purpose-driven. When we prioritize value-based living, external validation and materialistic achievements become less significant. Our focus becomes living in accordance with our highest principles, embodying virtue, and pursuing a path of authentic self-expression and contribution. This is a more meaningful form of winning than anything the conventional world can offer. Redefining winning is empowering, but it also raises a practical question. How do good people win in this redefined sense, while navigating a complex world that often rewards less ethical behavior? This leads to our fifth point: concrete strategies for winning as a good person. It's not about becoming less good, but about developing more effective approaches to life, cultivating inner resilience, and finding ways to thrive while staying true to your values. Let's explore some strategies. One key strategy is strategic kindness and discernment. Good people don't need to become distrustful, but they should cultivate discernment, learning to recognize situations and individuals where their kindness might be exploited. It's about being generous and compassionate, but also wise and prudent about who to trust, where to invest your energy, and when to set boundaries. It's about being open-hearted, but not naive. Think of it as being kind, but with a black belt in boundaries. Another crucial strategy is building ethical networks and communities. Seek out and connect with other good people who share your values. This provides mutual encouragement, shared resources, and collective strength. Collaborating with like-minded individuals is essential. It counters the isolating effects of operating in systems that don't prioritize ethics. Find your ethical tribe, build your network, and create communities committed to virtue and compassion. Leverage the power of ethical collective action. Focus your energy on areas where you have genuine influence. Good people can become discouraged trying to change vast, intractable systems. Instead, focus on making a positive impact within your own sphere of influence: your workplace, your community, your family, your relationships. Small, consistent, ethical acts within these areas can create a ripple effect of positive change. It's about maximizing your impact where you have agency. Don't get paralyzed by huge problems. Focus on what you can control, as the Stoics advised. Finally, prioritize self-care and inner resilience. Navigating a morally ambiguous world can be draining. Good people must prioritize their well-being, building inner strength through self-care practices and developing coping mechanisms to manage stress. Self-care is not selfish. It's essential for sustained virtuous action. Nurture your inner resources through mindfulness, connection with nature, supportive relationships, and activities that replenish your spirit. Resilience is the foundation for sustained goodness. These strategies aren't about guaranteeing conventional winning. They're about empowering ethical individuals to thrive, make a positive impact, and experience a deeper form of winning aligned with their values. This brings us to our conclusion: redefining success on your terms. The uncomfortable truth? In a world defined by materialistic metrics, good people may not always win by those standards, but that doesn't mean goodness is weak or that ethical behavior is a disadvantage. It means we must redefine what it means to win. We must reject the rigged game, sidestep the shallow metrics, and refuse to accept definitions of success that don't align with our values. Embrace a broader, more ethical definition of winning, one that prioritizes inner peace, value-based living, positive impact, and contribution to the greater good. Here's the paradox. By rejecting the conventional pursuit of winning, good people may actually achieve a deeper, more enduring, and more fulfilling form of success. They may not accumulate the most wealth or power, but they can cultivate inner peace, build meaningful relationships, earn genuine respect, and leave a positive legacy. True winning isn't about outcompeting others. It's about living with integrity, purpose, and compassion. And in that game, good people have the greatest potential to triumph. So, let's challenge the narrow, materialistic definitions of winning. Let's redefine success in ethical, meaningful, and fulfilling terms. Let's promote a culture that values integrity, empathy, and collective well-being over self-interest and competition. Choose to play a different game. Choose to redefine winning. Choose to live a life of goodness, integrity, and purpose. And in doing so, you'll discover a form of winning that's far more valuable than anything the conventional world can offer. Your journey to a redefined victory begins now. If this content helped you, give it a like and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Together, we can create a community of mentally strong individuals ready to take on whatever life throws at them.